When I was younger, I'd always question why my mum offers flowers or prasad while she's praying. Uh, Once I grew older and podcasted with people like yourself, I realized that these are more intricate practices of Sanatan Dharma, which you may or may not do at some point in your own journey. But what's more important than even those practices, especially for the beginners watching this, is one, the emotional connection to the deity, two, the study of the deity, and three, some kind of practice related to the mantras. And Om Namah Shivaya is a great starting point for Shiva Sadhana.
Correct.
Easier ways to enhance it, light a diya and do it.
Yeah.
Maybe offer some kind of prasad to the diya. These little steps in that direction of ritual take you closer to the deity.
Yeah.
And ideally, at some point, if you're lucky, you'll find a guru who'll guide you through the intricate traditional ways of Sanatani worship.
Yeah.
Want to add to what I just said?
Yes. So first, you don't need anything to get started. You just need bhakti, but that's the most hard to find, like I said. But once you have that bhakti, by the grace of Lord Shiva, you are now inclined towards doing mantra. You're already in a much, much, much higher space than most people, right? But as you evolve, spiritual journey is all about evolution, right? You evolve, you want to make your process more practical. You want to make the process more, you want to enhance the process as well. So, diya, we say, karma shakhade namaha, deepa narayana namaha. Deepa is a form of Narayan, who is a karma sakhade, meaning he is the one who sees the karma. He's the sakshi. He's a sakshi, meaning he's the jury of our practice. We're lighting the diya to show that God is looking at us. So when we light the diya, we say, Deepa Narayana Nama, Karma Sakhane Nama, Sriman Deepa Narayana Nama. Then we salute to the Lord of Surya. He is the Jagat Sakhane Nama. He's the one who is seeing the entire world, not just our small practice that we're doing, but he's the one who is Sakshi of the entire world. Then we do the Surya Namaskar, right? Then as you want to invoke the mantra, the first thing most practices recommend is the Gayatri Pranayam. Before you begin any Rudravishek, if it's a Karma Kanda priest who is following the very, very, very nuances of the practice, he has got to do a Gayatri Pranayam before he starts. Gayatri Pranayam is when you inhale the Gayatri Mantra, then capture the Gayatri Mantra on your third eye, then exhale the Gayatri Mantra.
How do you inhale it? Like you chant it in your head in one inhalation?
Yes.
Damn, dude. You did it thrice.
3 times, right?
Once during an inhalation, once while holding.
When you're in the temple, like you call it, or the third eye, you're installing it, then you're taking it out.
The normal Gayatri Mantra.
Normal Gayatri Mantra. This is the Gayatri Pranayam.
This is the first time hearing about this.
Right? So Gayatri Pranayam is very important in order to begin any kind of practical spiritual journey, right? It is when you purify yourself. The Gayatri Mantra it's one of the rare mantras which is for Bhagavad Priti. Gayatri Mantra does not offer any material benefit. For example, the 24-mukhi Rudraksha, which is representation of Gayatri, does not offer any material benefit. It is all about Bhagavad Priti, getting close to Bhagavad or the Parabrahma, right? So you inhale, you're setting your body, you're purifying the body. Like you said, body is the temple. So you do the Gayatri Pranayam. Then Bhasma Dharan is very important. We're not wearing Bhasma just for showcase. Bhasma carries a very, very deep meaning. If you don't have Bhasma, they say Jalaniti Bhasma. Just Jal, water. You can just apply water to your forehead like a Trikunda. Bhasma is very important. If you have the Bhasma, like you say, like I said, evolution is very important wherever you are. If you are, if you're invisible, then just imagine a Bhasma. It's doable. People tell me, hey, you are a person who always recommends Rudraksha. So people who can't buy Rudraksha or don't have Rudraksha don't do... No. Even if you don't have Bhasma or even if you don't have water, you can do it. Where are you in your journey matters. So then Bhasma, you apply Bhasma. It's very important to apply Bhasma. Then you start the chant. You always start the chant with Ganesh Mantra. There is a Panchayan. Even if you're doing... So I'm just giving a practical advice. Like I said, you can begin with in your bed with the Om Namah Shivaya. But if you want to do something that is a little bit more structured, but still practical enough, then remember the 5 Panchayans.
Your sharing a very powerful yet practical Shiva Sadhana right now.
Correct.
Go on.
So after doing the Gayatri Pranayam and after wearing the Bhasma, the first deity you invoke is going to be Ganesh. Om Gam Ganapataya Namaha is a very, very practical, or Om Ganeshaya Namaha if you want to do, or Ganesh, hey, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh. That is also a mantra. But for Ganesh is one of the primary deities you need to invoke, right?
You have to say this mantra once.
You can, so there is numerology is also very important. Numbers is very important. You can say it 3 times, you can say it 1 time, 5 times, you can say it 16 times, 33 times, or 108 times, right? So these are the different numbers that you can say a mantra in. That's the reason Rudraksha, like for example, the bracelets or the malas are made in different counts, not random counts, because that's the number of mantras that you can do. You see people like myself, one of the malas that I wear is a single mala for my sadhana. That is because that's the one mantra that I do, right? So how many counts are you doing? That is important, but you can start with 1, or you can start with 3, or let's just say you can start with 5, right? Om Gam Ganapataya Namah, Om Gam Ganapataya Namah, Om Gam Ganapataya Namah, Om Gam Ganapataya Namah, Om Gam Ganapataya Namah. After chanting for Lord Ganesh, then if you are initiated, if you have the tools, you can do the Gayatri Mantra. Gayatri Mantra is extraordinarily important mantra for anyone who is into spiritual practice. What do I mean by when I say initiated? Why is initiation important? One of the great barriers that are being created in today's day is the concept of initiation, right? I might, it might be a little bit controversial when I step into these boundaries, but initiation is more about wanting to make sure that the right words are chanted, or else negative consequences or negative invocations can be done. Therefore, you need a guru. Guru is a person who shows you light. Guru comes in different ways, shapes, and forms that allow us to chant the proper recitation or pronunciation of the mantra. Therefore, that is the reason you want to get initiated. Today, we have tools where we can listen, read, understand the proper pronunciation. So you might not need a physical guru. You might have a guru in the forms of other, resources. Even a book can be your guru, right? That's why we worship book as a Saraswati, as a deity, as a Vidya, as a knowledge, as a guru. So if you are learned enough for the Gayatri Mantra, then do the Gayatri Mantra. You don't, like I said, chant it out loud, but do the Gayatri Mantra to invoke further energies as you're elevating higher. Then the third mantra needs to be one of the primary mantras of Lord Shiva. If you're a beginner, Om or Om Namah Shivaya. If you are into advanced sadhana, then the Shiva Gayatri Mantra is a very, very strong and a powerful mantra. Tatpurushaya vidmahe mahadeva adhimahi tanno rudra prachodayat. The Shiva Gayatri Mantra is very important. Then you do the Vishnu, Hari and Hara. Always, whenever we invoke Lord Shiva, Hari, Hara, you have to always pray to Hara as well and Hari as well. Hari is Krishna or Vishnu, Hara is Shiva. Hari, Hara, always, right? So then do mantra for Lord Vishnu, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namaha or Om Vishnave Namaha. Then after that, for Devi is also extremely important. Like I said, Shiva and Shakti always together. For Shakti, you can do as simple as Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Shakti Rupena Sanstita Namastasya 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 Namo Namah, or Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvardha Sadike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Or you can do Om Lakshmi Namaha, Om Saraswati Namaha, Om Durga Devyai Namaha, or these kind of small mantras you can do, right? If you are using a bij like a Om Shrim Hrim Klim Glom mantras, then you would need tools like Rudraksha to chant those mantras. But if you're doing a normal Om Lakshmi Namah, you can chant it anywhere, anyhow, right? The reason I say Lakshmi Namah, not Saraswati or Durga Namah, is because according to Vedas, if we invoke Lakshmi, Saraswati and Durga are always happy. Okay, so that's the reason if you have to choose between one deity to invoke, because they all flow together, Mahalakshmi, Saraswati, Durga Devi, Kali, all of them are always together. But as you invoke Lakshmi, you can please the Devis. So you can say Om Lakshmi Namaha, okay, or Om Umayai Namaha. And lastly, you don't want to forget Lord Surya. Surya, like I said, is Jagat Sakre. For Surya, you can go as deep as Hey Surya Sahasram So Tejo Rashi Jagatpate Anupam Payam Bhakta Grihan Argam Divakaraha, or just say Om Bhaskaraya Namaha.
Om Bhaskaraya Namaha.
Yes, Bhaskar is Surya. Om Suryaya Namaha for Surya. So this is a simple, and then lastly, one of the very powerful and one of my favorite mantras is Karacharana Kritamba Kayajam Karmajamva Sravana Nayanajamva Manasamba Aparadam Vihitama Vihitamva Sarva Etat Shamashwa Jaya Jaya Karunabdhe Sri Mahadeva Sambho. This is Karacharana Kritamba Kayajam Karmajamva. Whatever may have done, I'm a sinful person who can commit many sins. Sravana Nayanajamba, meaning from Shravan, from Nayan, or Manasamba Aparadam. Even from my Manas I can do Aparadam. Sarva etat shamashva, meaning forgive me, the one who can forgive me all of this. Jai Jai Karuna Abdhe Sri Mahadeva Sambho. With the amount of karuna that you have, Lord Shambho, Shiva, you are the only one who can forgive me of my sins through my mind, sins through my eyes, sins through my ears. So this is a mantra that you can end with, or you can just say Om Achyutaya Namaha, Om Achyutaya Namaha, Om Achyutaya Namaha, asking for forgiveness of anything that you might have done. As you progress, you introduce mantras like, Kayana vacha manasindriyarva buddhyatmanava prakrite svabhava karomi yadyam sakalam parasme narayana iti samarpayatat. So mantras that instill that, any karma that I might have done through me being a human, all of it is samarpan to Lord Vishnu, right? So these kind of forgiveness mantras you can ask, and then you can samarpan your entire sadhana to Krishna and then get done. Even if you don't have a bhasma, you can wear an invisible bhasma. Even if you don't have a rudraksha, you can do a normal full mantra like Om Lakshmi Namaha. Don't use the beej, right? So starting does not have any requirement. If you want to evolve, then your evolution evolves with you. These sadhana give you the fruits that allow you to be able to attain higher spiritual realities.
Wow. This was one of the most powerful segments we've ever had on the podcast, because you literally gave out a whole Shiva Sadhana right now.
Yeah.
In an ideal case scenario, what are the tools needed?
In an ideal case scenario, it would be very good if you have water with you, which is very practical to do, because the first thing you do is Achamanim. Om Keshavaya Namah Swaha, Om Govindaya Namah Swaha, Narayana Namah Swaha, Om Vishnavaya Namah Swaha, or you can say the name of the Vedas, you can say any deity you do the Achamaniyam of, right? Water is very important. You always wash your hand after you lit the diya. The reason you wash your hand after you lit the diya is because the diya is known as the mouth of the god as well. He eats. That's why you do homa, right? Lord or Devi eat through the fire. So if you are considering that they eat through the fire, you also need to consider that that is a mouth. If you're touching the fire, then you're touching the mouth of the deity. Then when you touch the mouth, what you do after you eat? You wash your hands. So that's the reason you wash your hands as well. You have to be so involved and so in depth and so into the sadhana that you are, you can literally realize that that is a deity that you are just touching, the mouth of the deity. Hence, you have to wash your hands, right? So for water is a very important aspect. Bhasma is also very important. Bhasma, chandan. That's the reason one of the little efforts that I've done to aid this is, whenever people get Rudraksha from Nepa Rudraksha from us, I like to say that anywhere you get Rudraksha from, ensure that you ask for this at least is, Bhasma or Chandan, because that is very important for you to do any kind of sadhana, right? So being able to apply those in the forehead is very important. It has deep spiritual meaning. After that, Rudraksha, of course. Wearing Rudraksha is said to be one of the most powerful tools, not only to harvest or capture the blessings of the mantras that you just did, the sadhanas, but also initiate you automatically into being able to do Bij mantras. Bij mantra open a completely new dimension of your sadhana, right? So that is what is started. For example, if you wear the 14-mukhi Rudraksha, you can do the Bij mantra for the 14-mukhi Rudraksha. Right? As you wear the 21-mukhi, you can do the Kuber Bij mantras as well. So these kind of Bij mantras you get started to. So as you progress in your sadhana, ideally Rudraksha is always, in Devi Bhagavad Purana, it goes to an extent where it said any Vedic rites need Rudraksha to be worn to perform that rite. I like to say that probably means a Vedic ceremony in a very, very, formal manner. It definitely needs a Rudraksha. That's the reason Jyotirlingas, Pashupatinath, the worshippers are always wearing Rudraksha. But if you're just starting on, you don't need it. If you're evolving, if you're going higher into your sadhana, then you start to need these tools like Rudrakshas, right? Then the mantras evolve. Then even mudras are important. When you do a puja, you do the Sankha mudra, you do the Matsya mudra, you do the Ankusa mudra. Ankusa mudra is when you're connecting the two worlds of Devs and our words together, Ankusa mudras, right? So you could do the Pavitra mudra of, making the cows, thun, or what you call it,
Ados.
yes. So that is what you do with, you do yoni mudras. There are so many mudras that you do. This is a form of tantra, because tantra, like I said, everything, mantra, tantra, yantra are always evolved. Then you need yantras, then you need rudrakshas, then you need shivalingas. As you go deeper, there is so much things that you need in your sadhana. But to get started, do you need these? No. You can get started with as a mind, a clear mind, and a bhakti. Bhakti is very important. That's the reason I talked a little bit about karma, is because your karma, not only of this life, but of past life, is important for you to get started into sadhana.
Or listen to this podcast.
Yeah.